So in 2010, as you know, the season is going. When did you feel like that team had a chance to be really, really good?
Well, I think when we the first time was when we won the preseason tournament.
Mm-hmm.
We beat UConn up in the
UConn.
Garden.
Yep.
Kemba Walker, Jerome Dyson. They had Stanley Robinson. They had a really good team.
Yeah.
Actually, one of my favorite plays, if I remember from that game, we were breaking a press, and I hit you on a pass, and you finished, and you did a little, one of these right.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
Yeah. I got
remember
the
this?
and one. Yeah.
The
Yeah.
M1.
Yeah.
Um, we
Well,
rolled them. I mean, we
yeah.
we had two, and we beat Arizona State the game before. I was like, we got something here, and then we beat Gonzaga up in the Garden. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and obviously, in any season, there's a little adversity, and I think a huge game to me when I look back on is the Georgetown game.
Yeah.
You're playing, in front of Obama, packed, stadium. They obviously had a really good team. We got our asses kicked.
Yeah. They beat the mess out of us.
And I think we learned it was one of those games we went back to playing. Uh, Not that we were selfish, but too much one on one.
Mm-hmm.
I had to take better shots. We lost our identity a little bit, and I think we got back. There was a huge wake up call. I think we were closer after that. I think we really stuck to how we had to play, and I think we really took off from there. I want to say we won 23 out of our last 24 or something like that after that
Yeah.
game. Or it could be off by a few, but or something like that.
Yeah. I mean, we won a lot of games that year.
We did. We
Didn't
did
lose very
win a
much.
lot of games.
Yeah. And won the most important one. All right. So since we're on 2010, you want to talk about I guess we'll start with the Georgia Tech game where you weren't as open as you think you were. Uh,
Well, I was talking about losing our identity. We always talk about going from good to great. You always talk about like the extra pass. And so, I was struggling. I couldn't hit a shot for like a couple games. And, you came in and, gave us a huge burst. You made some good plays. And then you got the ball one time, top of the key. And I was like, Dre, hands ready. You can see me on film calling. My hands are there. And you go and drive. And I give a look. And then you go and you dunked on somebody, and that's the only thing that could have happened.
yeah, well, I had to, right? At that point, I had to.
I was
Man,
right, but that was so critical moment, and obviously I haven't even remembered that. For me to bring it up, I just 10 years later.
in my defense, I do suffer from a severe case of tunnel vision. So when I start driving, I don't see a whole lot. So that's it's been like that since I was a kid. I don't know what to tell you. But you hit the game winner, so it was all good.
Yeah, it worked out.
Yeah.
We won. That's what's
Yeah,
more important.
exactly. And then fast forward a few weeks, we get down to Houston and playing Baylor. Do you remember? I talked to Nolan about this. Do you remember that practice where the Baylor fan was screaming for our whole practice the day before the Baylor game?
Because obviously they I'm sure everybody knows this, whoever's listening, but there's these the open practice, right?
Mm-hmm.
You get like Baylor fans, you get some Duke fans, but it's like a mixture, and you get some different responses throughout
Yeah, to say the least. Yeah.
but I think that it was again one of those things. Remember, so we always watch the when they announced the bracket. We go to the new club, they
Yep.
announce it, we found out we're a 1 seed. um, and I remember every announcer predicted us to be the first 1 seed to lose
Yep.
that year.
Yep.
And so again, I just keep going back. All right, chip on your shoulder. Like everyone has doubted us the entire year.
Mm-hmm.
We
were alarmingly unathletic.
we are alarmingly unathletic. I think that was because of you, not me.
Yeah, it was probably me. It's probably me.
I wonder why they would say that.
Yeah.
Me and Dubes are back in the our apartment. Like, how could they say that?
Yeah, I wonder who they're talking about.
And we won the first two games, by a lot, and then we had a hell of a game versus Purdue.
Really good Purdue team. Really good Purdue team.
They were physical, and man, it was tough. I mean, we ended up stretching it out towards the end, but then you always get a sense for, when the coaches give you the preview of the next game. And I don't know if you remember this, but I think it was Wojo's scout. For whatever reason, I remember that. I'm positive it was.
Yeah, I know Wojo did Butler. I remember Wojo doing Butler.
I guess it makes sense because they were alternating. So,
yeah.
And there was a much more serious tone of like, we need to play really well to beat this team. And they talked about their size and their defense. They play this unorthodox kind of like a 1-3-1, but it was like a matchup. And so from then you knew you had to bring your best. Do you remember that?
Yeah, no, I remember that their defense was, it's just weird because you play, you've been playing against man for 30 something games.
Right.
And then it's this completely different look, and you're running plays that you don't normally run.
Right.
We do zone offense. Yeah. We do zone offense every so often during the year, but not against a 1-3-1 like that with 6'10", 6'11", and 7 foot. Like
exactly. And I was just gonna say, like, I remember in that game, I always felt like any team that's won anything, there's usually one or two moments where you either need a break, fortunate where something happens, or you need to really figure out a way to win when you're in that. And for me, it was the Baylor game.
That was the one, I think, for sure. If you looking not in the moment, you don't, you're just hey, we won another game, but looking back, that was the game that could have, derailed it.
Right. And I think the two moments in that game, one was in the first half. It's always huge the way you end the half, and they were pulling away, and you hit 2 threes, but especially the second three. They're down 6, and it could have been 10 easily.
Yeah.
And you end up hitting the 3, and we ended up down 3 of the half, which I thought was huge when it easily could have been 10. Kyle was in the foul trouble.
Yeah.
So I thought, like, to be down 3 at half, we were in a really good position. So again, I'm on your podcast. I had to give you some props, man. That was maybe the biggest shot that was hit. Maybe that was like a huge shot. By the way, both your threes in that game were from me. You mentioned I didn't pass. I'm just saying.
Well, I just had Gerald on not too long ago, so that might be why he may have influenced me a little bit. He said you didn't pass much, but I think we were down 10, and that's a moment where it could start to slip away. And like you said, you want to end halves well, and it kind of, like Cece used to talk about it a lot, is going on silent runs, like end of one half, beginning of the second. And so I think being able to cut it from 10 to 3, you feel good. It's one possession. It could be worse. And then you guys were able to keep that momentum going in the second half.
And another one was Zubek taking the charge. We're down 4 with this is 3.5 minutes left. We end up, getting the charge. So instead of, going down 6 or 7, we get that. And then we come down and hit a 3. I think Nolan hit a 3.
Yeah.
Kind of won. So, like, you talk about those moments, it's huge looking back.
Yeah.
And then LT had like the fake, kind of
the baby putback.
The baby putback.
The strong putback layup.
You gotta get him on and ask him about that.
I actually we should have him on soon. I just texted him like this past week.
All right, good.
He's down. So we'll
ask him about that. Tell him I was very complimentary.
I'll do that. So then going into, I think this is kind of an interesting thing. Going into the championship game, you're a senior, that's your last game. Most of us aren't, most of us go into the game, we don't know. It could be our last game, and then it ends up being our last game. But right. This is the last game. This is the championship. Do you remember any like different feelings going into that game, you know, putting the jersey on for the last time, or were you just like, we got to win?
You know, honestly, I don't know if that's like a really good question, because I don't even know if I've been asked that before. And it messes with you.
You get exclusives here
Yeah,
at
this is
Dawkins on Duke.
big time. This is Dawkins on Duke is high. This is high level, man, and a little more than what I expected.
Yeah, yeah. There's hard hitting questions over here, man.
It's just like it's weird, because you're playing, throughout the entire tournament, you're playing to get to the next one,
Right.
and like, no matter what I do, this is the last
There
one.
isn't another one, right? Yeah.
And it's like, you don't want it to end, especially the team that we had, how close we were, the season we were having. So there's like mixed emotions. I remember feeling almost sad, and obviously then you get towards the game, and like I couldn't sleep the night before the game, because it's impossible. You're so excited. So I remember feeling very almost tired the day of the game, and obviously you got ready and you get up for it no matter what. But I'll never forget that feeling though. Like it's the last one no matter what. I'm just glad it was the last one with a win.
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the few that ends it with a W. I can't say the same.
Well, the thing that makes it cool is most people can't, and that's just the